What's going on, everybody? This is Master Salim Odin of Progressive Taekwondo Academy, and welcome to Tap In Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well. It's a pretty nice Tuesday here in Apex, North Carolina. It's a good Tuesday. I'm still recovering from this weekend. Those Progressive Warriors were back on the mat competing in the South Carolina AAU Qualifier, and it was a good tournament. Well-run event. Everything was on time. Right, I was telling somebody when it comes to tournaments, if they are doing things at the time they say they're going to be doing things, then it's a good day, and that's really all you can ask for. And for there to be some good competition for your students to work on some things and to improve and really test themselves. And this weekend, I was impressed with the tournament, and I enjoyed the tournament. Not because of the outcome, right? Not because of how my students did, but because each student that competed faced some adversity, right? We had Cole, who was competing in sport Pumse and traditional Pumse, and it was really his second time competing in sport Pumse. He competed in it last June, but last June and this time it's really like his first time competing again. And it's funny because with sport Pumse, right, the air is just a little bit different than in your regular the Pumse division, right? The air is a little bit thicker, right? Everybody is a little bit more serious because it's a big deal, and you have to be exact. And if you're not exact, your score is going to reflect that you're not doing a good job. And after Cole went and performed his form, right, I could tell he was nervous. And the first form he did, it was stiff. I could see him thinking through every move, trying to make sure that he was doing everything correctly and as close to the book as possible. And the second time he did his form, he seemed a little bit more relaxed. But the adversity of having to deal with those nerves, having to get out there and still perform, right, man, it was a good day. And he got fourth place, but the experience that he gained just by stepping on the mat and being in that situation is better than any medal he could have received. And then he went on to compete in traditional Pumse, and he won a silver medal. And his traditional Pumse was a better performance just because he had competed earlier in such a tense environment where he was under a lot of stress. And there was a third form that he had did that day, his third time on the mat, and you can see him getting a little bit more relaxed every time. And so for him to recognize himself that his nerves were a little bit better the third time is growth, and that growth mindset will allow him to continue to push forward and step back on the mat and challenge himself again. For sparring, I had 3 athletes compete in sparring, and 2 of them were my kids, right, Savan and Solomon, and I had 4 competitors, and then Thomas and Henry, and right, Solomon was first up, and he had a tough match, right? Now the scoring is best 2 out of 3, right? He lost the first round by maybe about 3 or 4 points, right? He won the second round, and it was a tie, right? And he won a tiebreaker because he scored some head kicks in that round. And in the third round, it ended in a tie. No. He was winning, and then he lost at the end of the match where it was a tie, and he got kicked in the head in the third round, but it was a tie score, so he lost the third round. But, he had to deal with some adversity himself because he was up against a good challenger, right? Somebody that had kicked him hard. He had to deal with some emotions in the middle of the match and still persevere and get out there, perform, and really do his best. Next up was Savan. Savan won his first fight pretty easily, but at the end of his match, he got hit in the eye, and it hurt a little bit where he was he had to deal with that uncomfortable feeling to get hit in the eye, and he had to fight again in the finals. In the final, the first round, the guy just blitzed him and overwhelmed him, and he looked hesitant, like he was unsure of himself. And then going into the second round, I told him, you just have to compete, right? It's not about winning or losing. It's about competing and putting your best foot forward and really stepping up to the situation. And the second match or the second round was a lot closer. He lost, but he fought better, right? He performed better. He wasn't acting scared, even though he might have been a little bit nervous, right? He still went out there and did his best. After that was Thomas was up, and Thomas, he had been in Florida on vacation, right? And he won his first match. He convincingly. I'll post some videos of that. And his second match, he couldn't put it together. I'm telling him what to do. I'm like, listen, Thomas, I just want you to listen, right? If I tell you to do it, I want you to be able to try to follow my directions. And then after the match, he just told me that his legs were heavy, right? He didn't know why. He had never felt that feeling before, but he couldn't do anything. And myself, being a seasoned competitor, right, I could relate to that feeling of heavy legs and not being able to lift it. And some days, things just don't go your way. You just don't have it. Physically, you can have a bad day. Mentally, you can have a bad day. And today was just physically a bad day for him. And so it's good for him to go through that so that he's aware that those things can happen, right? A lot of times we are unaware of what can happen until it actually happens. And so it was good for Thomas to be honest about the situation so I can sort of coach him through that and teach him how to deal with that adversity, teach him, give him some tips to how to deal with that lactic acid when it's in the muscles and how to build it up when your legs get heavy so that you're able to perform and do a little bit better. Because sometimes this happens and it'll happen again. And so it was good for him to face that adversity. And even though he didn't win he got silver, but even though he didn't win his final match, he was able to gain some valuable experience building up towards the national championships, right? And everything we're doing now is really helping us be the best versions of ourselves in July when we step on the mat against everybody in the United States. And so kudos for South Carolina AAU for putting on a great event. We'll be back next year. And kudos to those progressive warriors for stepping up, facing adversity, and persevering through those moments. And at the end of the day, they walk away smiling, right, heads up high, not feeling bad about their performance, but being able to look at things in the proper light and understanding that they're getting better and be able to see the benefit of. Sorry, I ran out of space. But yes, they see the benefit of being challenged, and it was an overall good day. So I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to our next competition, which is the Body Armor State Games in June. And I'm looking forward to have some beginners that'll be going out there for the first time competing. And so I'm excited to watch them step on the mat for the first time and really feel the joy and the exhilaration that comes from being nervous, right, and being brave in that moment, and then also being successful and learning the art of accomplishment. This is Master Salim. Tap in Tuesday. Before I head out, I'd like to say congratulations to Team USA. They competed today at the Pan American Championships in the Dominican Republic, and they cleaned up. I think they won Best Female Team, Best Male Team for cadets, and cadets are 12 to 14 years old. And it really makes me excited because I have some cadets that are coming up in the pipeline, and I look forward to seeing them travel internationally with that Team USA on their back and kick butt with the rest of Team USA. See, I'm wearing my throwback national team shirt, and hopefully I'll get some new gear once they make team and I steal it from them. But this was Master Salim. Peace out. Tap in. Catch you guys next week.